Dracula.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Graveyard Club podcast. Today we're back to talk about more Val Lewton movies. Today it's Oil of the Dead, again starring Boris Karloff. Last week we were talking about The Body Snatcher. This was a fun one because we see him play a completely different role in this one. I think this might be the first time I've seen him play kind of like a sympathetic role. He's still quite an arsehole in this movie, but like we're going to get more into it. But joining me today, we have Bryan, of course. Zontarr and then Titan is joining back today. And yeah, like Bryan kind of put me onto these Val Lewton RKO horror movies from the 40s. I think there's a good 9 or 10 of them. I think this is the third one. I think this is the third one now, Bryan, I think, is it? That we've reviewed?
I think so. Yeah, because we did I Walked with a Zombie, we've done The Body Snatcher, and now here we are with Iron of the Dead.
And later on, I do want to, if people have seen them 3 movies, I just want to get a ranking. Your top 3 of the ones that we've reviewed so far, because next week we're going to do like a Godzilla movie and give these Val Lewton ones a little bit of a break. But definitely want to get back into them and review the rest of them. The Cat People, Bryan, you were saying, sound is meant to be good.
Yeah.
So, and Titan, I didn't realise, man, that you were into a lot of these movies.
Somewhat. I'm not as big into them as you guys are, but I've definitely seen a lot from that era.
I was surprised with saying that you were going to join today. But Zontarr, this is the first time you've seen this one.
Yes, sir. I started it. It was like, have I seen this? I don't recall. You know, I'm getting to the point now where there's stuff I've seen when I was, a teen.
Yeah.
That stuff's fading away. So there's like, let's pretend like it's the first time.
And like, what's good about this one? I don't know. For the first while, this movie doesn't feel like a traditional horror movie. It definitely brings you on a bit of a journey until it hits you with that last 15 minutes. And we are going to talk about, but genuinely, like, the last 15 minutes of this movie terrified me. I'm not even joking. Like, but it'd be interesting. I think so far, like, I really enjoyed I Walked with a Zombie. That really blew me away. But like, seeing this movie just really shows what Boris Karloff can do. Never seen him in a role like this, and it's nice even coming off The Body Snatcher on the last episode where he was just a menace, like an evil fucker in that movie. This movie, you kind of root for him a lot. You know, it's very interesting, like, and I don't know, like, he even has like his hair grown out a little bit. I've never seen Karloff like this. He still has them scenes where he's intimidating and imposing. But we just get to see different sides from him. And as we're talking about the plot, his character just develops so much in this one. It's a very interesting movie. This is based off a painting of the same name. I'm not sure who the artist is. Maybe Bryan knows. But
Arnold Böcklin, SOS artist. I'm not sure about the correct pronunciation. Böcklin. I'm not sure about the pronunciation of the surname. I'm not Swiss at all.
As far as I know, the picture is just of, I don't even know if it's a Greek island, but it's an island with a boat like on its way to it. So that's basically where this movie like is set.
Yeah, and that painting was the same one that inspired Skull Mountain Island in the original King Kong.
Didn't know that. Actually, didn't know that.
May need a print of this.
And keep in mind, this film is also produced by RKO.
I'd like the setting in this one. Like, even though it doesn't give you pure evidence that we're in Greece, I do like the setting. We're in somewhere completely different. And like, before we get into the plot, it just amazes me how RKO can pull off these like sets. Even though you can tell watching these movies that they are small sets. Like, I could probably count them on one hand how many sets are in this movie, but they do it in such a kind of genius way. They don't really need that budget. It proves that, like, even back then, you don't need the big Universal budget, the big cast of actors to make it an effective horror movie. And like I said earlier, like, for a while, this was a bit of a stretch to call this a horror movie. I was genuinely thinking, okay, this is a thriller, until I got to the last 15 minutes. So I am excited to get into the plot. But the plot goes, Boris Karloff's character, we're just going to call him the General. He's also known in the movie as the Watchdog. And I forgot to say, this is set in 1912 during the Balkan Wars. Bryan, you've any idea what this war was about?
It's not, well, keep in mind I'm Canadian, so, and as a part of the British Empire and then later the Commonwealth, while there was a lot of international warfare going on, the Balkan War was not one of them, but basically the first Balkan War, you had 4 Balkan states: Greece, Serbia, Montenegro, and Bulgaria declaring war upon the Ottoman Empire. They defeated it, stripped the Ottomans of their European provinces, blah, blah, blah. So basically it's basically the European provinces of the Ottoman Empire rebelling and getting their independence.
See, this is why you're here, Bryan. I fucking love it. So the general is on his way to this island to see his deceased wife. It's basically like a graveyard, this island. There's not meant to be anyone alive living there. Just everyone is like buried alive over there. Not buried alive, but buried over there. Excuse me. And he goes over there with another soldier, Oliver, I think his name is in the movie.
Actually, he's a reporter.
He's a reporter. He's not a soldier.
No.
Reporter. Excuse me. And to go over and to see the tomb has been vandalized, there's things missing and this and that, and they end up coming across a mansion, and you find a group of people living there. Weirdly enough, like this meant to be a deserted island, and there's people living there. There's meant to be this kind of, I forget what they call it, but it's basically a plague that everyone's kind of afraid of in this house. And there's different people in the house. There's like a doctor, there's maids there. There's a young girl there called Tia, who we will talk about a little bit more soon. But there's this whole superstition that we see in the little text at the start of this movie about a mythical folklore creature in Greek kind of history called the Vrykolaka, I think it is. I don't know how you pronounce it.
The
Vrykolaka.
way it's written in the text on film is Vrykolaka, but again, not Greek. I mean,
No.
keep in mind what I'm just using this as a example here. We pronounce it as Crete. The Greeks say Crete, apparently. So I'm not going to even. So when it might be spelled one way, it might be pronounced a completely different way.
Yeah, I don't know how many movies me and you reviewed now, Bryan. We're never going to get the pronunciation on any of these fucking weird names. But I like the setting of it straight away. Like we're in a deserted island while these people are kind of quarantined here. So straight away, like, just brought me back to the COVID times. Like I can't watch a movie that brings up quarantine, a plague, or some sort of virus without me going back to the lockdown times. And I'm not sure what it was like in America, lads, or Canada. But it was a dark time over here. Like every single thing was fucking locked up. So it's great going back to watch these movies. You can almost see them in a different way because you know how bad a quarantine is and how panicky shit can get. So that's so the whole dynamic of this movie is basically, is it a plague that's going around, or is it the superstition of this mythical creature going around killing people? And that's the beautiful thing. Like, it's the whole movie is a dynamic between the people in the house until we get to the end, and we basically find out whether it is superstition or was it the plague in the end. So that's the kind of the smart thing about this movie that I didn't really see going into it. I was kind of expecting, when you heard a movie title called Isle of the Dead, I was expecting like kind of zombies to be going around, walking around. Like the plot of this movie was just so unexpected for me. It was really good. Just talk a little bit about the performances. Obviously starting with Karloff, completely different to what we've seen in the Body Snatcher. Like almost a good guy, but like he was a bit of a dickhead in the movie. But he was only trying to protect everyone in that mansion. And one little part was a little bit far-fetched. Remember, they were waiting for some sort of wind to come and change, and apparently that's when the plague would have, like, am I right in saying that, Brian? Like, they were waiting for some sort of wind, and I looked it up. There was a name for this sort of like Mediterranean wind that was going to come by the island, and once that happened, the plague was gone, and they were good to go then back to mainland.
Yeah, keep in mind, this is my first time watching it too. I figured once I've watched it a few more times, it might actually make more sense. But even then, I find a plague shifting up because of the wind a bit odd.
Yeah, like I was like, okay, that's far-fetched now. Like, you know what I mean? But like everything else was fucking solid.
Yeah, just to bring something up. Well, the filming for this began for 2 weeks in the July of 1944 until they had to suspend production because Boris Karloff needed a back operation. And it was the film was ultimately completed in December, and in the time between then, after, Karloff had recovered from the surgery, but before the cast for this movie had gotten back together, Karloff and Lewton made the Body Snatcher. So keep in mind, this was I'm not sure how to put it, but he was basically making 2 movies at the same time.
That just goes to show you how important Karloff was to RKO at the time. They literally stopped filming and said, do whatever you need to do, get some like rest and speedy recovery, and he stopped everything. You would never guess something like that happening with a major studio. Even today, even somewhere small like places, like they'd recast somebody, but obviously Karloff held that weight, that name that RKO needed in them 40s movies. That's crazy to hear. Like,
I can definitely get the feeling that Universal would not have done such a thing, because keep in mind, he made a comment about being rescued from the living dead by Val Lewton.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was a lot of reasons, like he was allowed to be a human being again.
And from what I believe as well, like this is regarded as one of his one of his favorite roles, because he doesn't play a monster. We mentioned it, we touched on it in the last episode. Like, it'd be a different world if he kept working at Universal. He probably would have just pushed them more into the monster roles, where these RKO movies, he is really getting a chance to shine. And as much as I love the performance in this movie, the Body Snatchers, he was excellent.
Yeah, with the Frankenstein monster role, he was basically becoming a prop.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who played it. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney Jr., poor Bela Lugosi, Glenn Strange.
Yeah. Like, once Lugosi had a go of the monster, like, surely Karloff was like, come on, like, everyone's the fucking monster now.
And keep in mind, Lugosi was 60 when he ultimately played the monster, so
That's still mind blowing how old he was. Well, not old, but how not young he was when he went over to America and started at Universal. I thought he was a lot younger in that Torty Dracula movie. That's crazy. But there is other great performances of this one. RKO didn't really have like a full range of like big names. Like, it's usually one or two villains, and the rest are pretty much like jobbers, like, really, because like if you look up this movie, like, a lot of the actors you can't even look into to see what their discography is. But the girl who played Tia, the actress's name is Ellen Drew. She was excellent in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Karloff plays off quite well to each other, because Karloff thinks for most of the film that she's the mythical vampire type of creature. I'm not going to try to say the name, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, and he's slowly switching his opinion from being like this is the plague to okay, no, this is that vampire like mythical creature from Greek folklore, and it's such a good performance because you can see him slowly descend into madness. And like in fairness, it's quite obvious that it is the plague, to be honest with you, because there's people dropping like flies in this movie, and it's obviously the plague, and it kind of confirms it's the plague when he becomes sick then. And I don't know, like the movie is sort of drama in between these people in this big mansion until it gets to the end of the movie, because there's another lady there called I think her name was Lady Mary. I think that's what Lady Mary was her name is, and she
Mary Saint Arbine. She's married to Alan Napier's character.
Yeah.
Mr. Saint Arbine, who's a British diplomat, and if you're Alan Napier, he also appeared in Cat People in an uncredited role. He went on to appear in Orson Welles' adaptation of Macbeth. He went on to voice Pellinor in Sword in the Stone, and most famously, he originated the role of Alfred, Batman's butler, for television in 1966.
You got that up on his Wikipedia?
I
couldn't get his Wikipedia.
I knew he was in a few other stuff, but I basically there was some pre-existing information that I knew, but obviously the fact that he was in some Val Lewton films is from Wikipedia. I didn't even realize that the first time.
It's been great performances throughout these Val Lewton movies. I can't really nitpick at the quality of the acting here. Throughout all them movies, I Walked with a Zombie. Titan, have you seen I Walked with a Zombie?
I have not seen that one. No.
Zontarr, did you see that one? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I still I know we're not talking about it today, but me and Bryan have done an episode on that, and I really recommend that Titan. Like if you even if you enjoyed this one a little bit, that one is fucking magical, man.
My favorite zombie movie and the only screen adaptation of Jane Eyre I've ever seen.
I'll give it a watch then.
It's like you're in a zombie dream over in the Caribbean. It's ridiculously good. I couldn't believe it because that's obviously one. I've heard about that movie and The Seventh Victim, which is another Val Lewton movie, for years, and don't know what I like about these Val Lewton movies. You can almost, especially this movie, All of the Dead. It looks like a mid-30s movie. I don't know if that's the kind of the less great quality of cameras that they were using compared to Universal, but these movies kind of give me that almost pre-code kind of feel, but we're like halfway into the 1940s, which is crazy. Like the war just ended this year, because I think this one came out the same year as The Body Snatcher.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it's like they were spitting out these fucking movies, man. And like, I'll put my hand up and say, like, I'm a big Universal monster fan, but as they were getting into the 40s, can't be the only one here that thinks like this now. There were still great ones, like obviously The Wolfman, and like there was a few later sequels that were quite good. But what Val Lewton was doing over here, because I could be wrong, but I think Val Lewton actually wrote a lot of the scripts for these movies as well. And
yeah, he was basically given the tight tones and given complete creative freedom, and I love that. A name like Island of the Dead, what would you have expected? You would not have expected less.
No.
A movie like a movie with the title The Body Snatcher, what would you have expected? I Walked with a Zombie, what would you have expected?
Yeah. And I'm going to go into the Cat People and what's it, like a Bedlam as well. you don't know what to expect going into these movies, which is great.
Yeah, there is a interview in one of the episodes of 100 Years of Horror with Robert Rice, who, of course, worked under, directed a few of, Val Lewton's films, or two, I think. And according to him, Val Lewton believed man's greatest fear is the fear of the unknown. And as James Wolfe mentioned in his video of cat people, what you don't see is scarier than what you do see. And it's always used to great effect in these films.
Yeah, and I know we're not modern horror fans, but like still the best modern horror movies is the movies that kind of play off the unknown. And just get back onto what I was saying, that like I thought in the 40s like horror kind of dipped a little bit, and we were going into the Monster Mash era, House of Dracula, House of Frankenstein, but we clearly weren't.
The monster clam bake, as Karloff called it.
Like, he even noticed it. So these Val Lewton movies just went under my radar because being a big Universal monster fan that I am, and completely blown away. I didn't think horror movies were on this pedigree. I think these could be these series of movies are probably the best in the decade, because we don't really have too much. Like obviously the Wolfman, there's probably a few we can think of, but there's nothing like I Walked with a Zombie. There's nothing like this movie. RKO and Val Lewton were fucking cooking. It makes me think, like, imagine Universal had Val Lewton for the 5 or 6 years that he was making movies. Could you imagine the magic they could have been doing over there as well?
Imagine if they had Marion C. Cooper and Ernest B. Schoedsack. I bring that up because King Kong, Son of Kong, Mighty Joe Young, The Most Dangerous Game, also by RKO, and dear God, what is the man's name? But the director of the 1939 Hunchback of Notre Dame, that's also an RKO production. William Tierley, I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but still, they had such talented people working at RKO in the 30s and 40s.
Because you have to think about like the budget on these movies were quite low. Like looking them up, and they didn't really make much of a profit at the box office. I think this movie only gathered like 13,000 in profit, which is quite a fail. But what happens with these sort of movies, as I'm sure the panel knows, like you re-release them as double features 10 years later with another movie, and then later on they'd get like say another 10 years later they get like a video home release, and that's when a lot of these movies kind of get pushed into the public eye a bit more. So this kind of technically was a fail on release. 13,000 is quite a fail with like a 200,000 budget at the time. So they're not completely low budget movies, but I could imagine the backlot at RKO was a fraction of the size of what Universal had to play with. So just absolutely magic now. Like I said at the start of the episode, now it doesn't really feel like a mean grease in this movie. There is one or two scenes where we see, like the Greek kind of marble pillars in the background, and it's just four of them just randomly placed there. I think they just done that just to say, like, make it maybe look like Greece a little bit
and
more.
Of course, there is a statue of Cerberus, the three-headed dog.
Yep.
And yeah, and they do kind of refer to Hermes, which I don't know if it is
Hermes.
Hermes. I don't know if it's a god or. I think it is a god.
He's a god. He's one of the Olympians. If you ever, I hate myself for just going to referring to the lowest common denominator of Greek mythology films, but I'm going to refer to the Disney Hercules. He's the blue guy voiced by Blue Schaffer. But yeah, it actually correctly mentions him as the god of. Well, no, wait. It does correctly refer to him as the god of. No, he does correctly refer to him as a son of Zeus, but I don't think he was a god of physicians, even though the Caduceus, one of his symbols, is now a symbol of medicine. I think it was Asclepius who was the god of medicine. Yes, god of medicine, healing, physicians. And what do you know? Asclepius, Hermes' nephew.
See, if we were taking him a Greek mythology test, I would fail on all cylinders, man. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be good with that. Like it is good though. How I don't know how faithful the mythology is in this movie. I did see some review saying like the dog is not necessarily what it is, because I think the three-headed dog is basically guarding the cemetery on this island. So I don't know if the dog is meant to be some sort of like security or some sort of
yeah, Cerberus. His basic role, if I recall correctly, he's the guard to the entrance to the underworld, but he's mainly there to make sure that dead who don't realize they are dead escape.
Because the first thing I thought when I seen it, I was like, do you remember the three-headed dog out of Harry Potter?
Yeah, Fluffy.
Yeah.
So, well, I want to move on just to talk about the ending of this movie, which is a good 15 minutes long, and we're talking about in the main chat. It fucking blew me a bleeding way, man. So, like, that other girl, basically, Lady Mary, I'm gonna call it Lady Mary, because you know her name, Bryan. She basically goes into some sort of like trance state. They don't really explain it, but some sort of trance state, and she's asleep. Almost looks like a coma. And
yeah, I can't remember what it is, but she goes into a. She's cataleptic, and she fears premature burial. So she appears dead, but she's not actually dead. Which makes her fear of premature burial so much worse.
Oh, like heavy scene, man, and like they wasted no time putting her in a box. Like it was crazy, and like you get a great scene with Boris Karloff's lying in the bed, and a girl that a woman that we haven't really mentioned too much is Lady Moira, I think her name is. That's kind of like the older nun kind of looking lady.
Madam Kira.
Kira.
It's weird. Boris Karloff's character referring to her as old woman, even though Boris Karloff is 2 years older than Helena.
Oh, was he? Yeah.
Simic. Yeah, he's 2 years older than her.
It's sometimes it's hard to put an age on Boris Karloff. I think he's probably one of the best looking actors on the silver screen. Like in the black and white times, he just.
You also thought Lugosi was hard to put an age to.
Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe it's just that horror icon, like blood. It just actors don't come around like that all the time. I think the next time a set of actors came around like that was Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, and I don't think they've came back since, in my opinion. But yeah, she basically gets out of this box like coffin that she's in, and she loses her mind. Then at this time of me watching the movie, I still don't know if this is the plague or is she okay that she is the vampire, that is the Vrykolaka thing, but she just loses her mind. She goes on a bit of she doesn't really go on a killing spree. She kills one person, and then she stabs the general in the back, and then she throws herself off the cliff, basically kills herself. But I'm kind of brief on boy, but it's more scenes of that girl chasing after Tia that really, really scared me. One of the first like reveal scenes, and she's running around with the drapes off her, looks like a nightgown. For a 1945 movie, that scared the fuck out of me, man. Like that was that was quite effective because, as I was saying earlier, this movie kind of it's just a lot of like inner turmoil, drama going on, and then that last 15 minutes just fucking hit you in the face. Really, really, really fucking good stuff. And yeah, it ends quite bleak. Like Boris Karloff's character dies, and we basically find out throughout that entire movie all he was doing really was protecting everyone on that island. But people were thinking he was losing his mind and all this type of stuff. So like it turned out in the end he was a proper good guy. He was just kind of losing his marbles a little bit,
Yeah.
you know. But that's basically the plot of that movie. Because don't know, like if the listeners are listening, you need to go and watch this movie. It's very hard to like paint what the scenes are like in this movie. Just picturesque.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, Ron.
Paint, that choice of word paint, because obviously the film's inspired by a painting.
And I would reckon a lot of the background that we see on the outside of the movie when they go outside, I think they're they're painted backgrounds as well. I could be wrong there, but they look like painted backgrounds because again they're shooting this in the RKO studio. They're not doing anything on site, as far as I know. So I'm pretty sure that's like all painted backgrounds. But it's a great job. You can tell, obviously, this is a small set. There's really only a couple of sets in this movie, and most of them are either inside the house or like outside the door. Really, we don't really get much more than that. But that just shows you how good and effective this movie is.
Yeah, I just shared the painting in the main chat, and isn't that a beautiful thing?
That's the authentic painting there, Bryan, is it?
Yeah, Island of the Dead.
It's excellent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other versions, but I think this is the. I mean, there's a quote-unquote New York version. There's a third version. There's a black and white photograph version. There's a fifth version. It's just something that kept being done.
Like it's interesting. Go ahead, man.
With Balkan eventually needing the aid of his son to finish one.
I was just gonna say, like, it's been interesting. Probably the last 10 movies that we've reviewed over here on the channel have been probably more than likely based off of literature, some sort of book. You don't really come across many movies that are just based off the single painting. How interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting because how many books in the public domain have you come across that have used a piece of public domain art as, you know, the cover?
Yeah, or the basis of the. Yeah.
Why not just? I mean, go ahead. Make a film called Dracula, but why don't you just? I don't know. Look at one of the paintings that's used for a cover.
That is very true. It's.
And
I'll go ahead, man.
And dear God, oh, here we go. The painting's literally just called Vampire by Edward Munch. This is actually the version. This is the one. Oh, for God's sake. Don't give me this too big bone shit. It's Discord, you gotta get some things taken care of.
Yeah, man. Discord shits itself on a weekly basis, man.
Yeah.
It really does, Titan. Like it's.
Oh, please let this version work, but I can't remember if it's Puffin. I can't remember if it's Penguin, but this is basically the painting they used for their cover of Dracula, or at least one production. I mean, not production, but public one
Yeah,
edition.
that's fucking that's fucking terrifying looking, man. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, make a film called Vampire and base it off of, this painting, which is also called Love and Pain.
I don't, just,
Call it Love and Pain. Call it Vampire. Just base it off of that painting.
yeah, and don't give us a movie like Dracula Untold. Like there's so much to go off of from history, but we continue to get movies like Dracula Untold, the new Wolfman, Del Toro's Frankenstein. Like there's no excuse. There's no excuse. But what I do want to talk about, does this movie need a remake? Do you think a remake of this movie would work?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's basically. I mean, you have a war going on. You got a island that's a cemetery. You have, we've got an epidemic basically.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Titan? Like, do you think this could work as a remake?
It could happen in quite a few. It could work for quite a few eras.
Yeah, I definitely think it could work. However, I mean, it's not going to be anything compared to the original. But I want you just to think about this for a minute. What was that recent hantavirus scare that we had? It was a bunch of people who got sick and they put them on an island. It kind of sounds like this movie a little bit, and I think if you were to remake it, you would have to do it very, very soon in order to kind of capitalize on that.
Yeah.
So I think it could work in that aspect, and like you were saying earlier, it reminded you of COVID. So I think like we're in the perfect time to remake it. If you were to say remake it about 10 years ago, before all this stuff happened, it probably wouldn't have gone over as well, but I think now you could do it and it could work very well.
Yeah, if 100%, man, if they spat out a movie, a remake of this now, it'd be so effective. What's been recently going on, 100%, it would lose its the thump of it, if you will, like if it was released 10 years later. Yeah, 100%, man. What about?
And also,
oh, go ahead, man. Sorry.
I was just gonna say this film. It came out in 1945, right?
Yeah.
It was about a good little over 25 years after the Spanish flu. So I wonder what people who lived through that thought when they saw this movie, because it would be a very similar situation to what I was just describing.
Yeah, if not, yeah, it probably spooked the fuck out of man after something like the Spanish flu.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's crazy. It was only 25 years prior.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking yeah, I never thought about that. But yeah, like it's interesting. You can view this movie in different angles now. Obviously, from what's going on recently and a couple of years ago with the COVID. There's a lot of movies like recently like that I've been watching. I don't know if anyone here has seen The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price. All you hear like is kind of a plague, quarantine in that movie, and like I don't know, I went into that movie a couple of weeks ago watching it like in a different way, and it's sad like because like that was such a tragic time for humanity. I suppose like the whole planet. Like thinking back on COVID.
I've not seen it, but I have seen a Laverne Smith version, I Legend or whatever it's called. I Am Legend.
Is that the Will Smith Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're both based on the same novel by Richard Matheson, which is of course titled I Am Legend, which I mean points for using the actual title.
Yeah.
The title of the original book, I should say.
But
I think
apparently
go
ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Apparently
Go
from
ahead.
what Wikipedia is saying, the Will Smith version is a loose adaptation. So,
Yeah, and I think
uh,
the Price one is the most faithful of the movies that we got. I think there's only 3 movies.
yeah.
That's definitely worth a watch.
Oh,
Brian.
and of course it would be the most faithful. Richard Matheson actually wrote the screenplay.
There you go.
Wait, hold on. But due to later rewrites, he did not wish his name to appear in the credits.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've not read the book. I've not seen the movie, so I can't make any, genuine calls on fidelity.
Well, I know. I'm going to exclude Titan here because he hasn't seen I Walked with a Zombie. But I want to ask Bryan and Zontarr if the last 3, well, this one and the last 2 Val Lewton movies that we were talking about, if you could rank them from 1 to 3, what would you go for? Like, I'll start it off. I still think number 1 for me would be I Walked with a Zombie. And I Walked with a Zombie is fucking up here. Like,
Yeah.
fucking fantastic movie. I can't get over it. Like, probably, as you said, Bryan, it's your favourite zombie movie. I think I agree with you. I think it's my favourite zombie movie. Secondly, going a little bit further down, would be The Body Snatcher. I thought, like, Boris Karloff held that movie together. Oh, I think... And whoever played Dr. McFarlane, like, them two, the chemistry between them two and the little dynamic was brilliant. I that's definitely my second one so far. And then this one would be third. Purely because it does bring you a little bit on a journey before you get to the nice bits at the end. But it was. I'm not saying it wasn't worth it, but I think the 2 other movies were just throwing more things at me that I appreciated more. But what about you, Bryan?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I Walked with a Zombie is definitely a high one. As soon as I learned about Val Lewton, as soon as I learned about Val Lewton, I learned about him beforehand, but when I discovered 100 Years of Horror and watched the Zombies episode, I was completely captivated by what I was being seen with the clips from I Walked with a Zombie. And when I was watching Turner Classic Movies all those years ago, and saw that they were coming out with a Val Lewton collection, and I Walked with a Zombie was included, my heart leapt.
Some of them scenes in I Walked with a Zombie, you could literally screenshot it and it looks like a painting. Like the scene when the 2 girls are going through the corn maze when they're trying to get to the tribe that's deep in the corn maze. Unbelievable.
And they
stuff.
meet Carrefour.
Oh, but that has to be the scariest thing to come out of the 40s. He has to be the scariest thing to come out of the 40s.
Carrefour, in my opinion, is probably, alongside Solomon Grundy, a DC Comics supervillain, one of the most iconic zombies.
Hands down, man. And I think...
And that's because they're actual individuals.
Yeah, and they're not... Well, I suppose he is a zombie in the movie.
But Carrefour, his luck, you recognize him. Sure, he does talk, but he's down his own character, basically. It's not like he's with a bunch of others.
He's definitely a standout in that one. Zontarr, if you could rank the Val Lewton movies that we've been talking about thus far, how would you rank them?
I think I'm gonna go. I'll go. I Walk with a Zombie, and then I think I'll go this, and then The Body Snatcher. It might just be recency bias since I finished this, about an hour ago. But again, the bit early on, it's like, well, this is just kind of depressing and a COVID metaphor, even though you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It reminds me of COVID. Clearly, the other way around. But the last 15 minutes really wowed me.
Yeah.
And somebody even I was reminded of things that come after it. But before it, there's an Edgar Allan Poe short story, The Premature Burial. And then later, AIP, when they're rolling through the Poe movies, there's The Premature Burial. Also, when the only Night Gallery I remember episode, I watched it when I was a kid, is A Premature Burial. There's some woman buried in a crypt, and she's calling out, and someone's walking through some fabulous Hollywood cemetery, and you can hear her calling from the mausoleum. Like, wow. And they're like, when I was watching this, like, oh, that's this almost certainly influenced that.
Mm. That's such a fucking great scene in the movie, man. That's that's when I kind of leaned up a little bit when I was watching the movie, because I was like, it's kind of like a thriller. I'm enjoying the characters in it. It's very good. Boris Karloff is great, but as soon as she kind of starts knocking on the coffin, man, like fucking great stuff. The only thing I think Karloff's performance in Body Snatcher is what has me picking that movie over this one, but I can't get over how good he is in this one. I don't know if that's his natural hair in this movie. I've never seen a movie where Karloff that his hair has the curls in it. And again, like, he's meant to be a Greek guy. We were talking about this in the last episode. There's obviously no Greek actors in this one. There's never any Scottish or real Irish actors or anything for that matter in these old movies. They're usually English or mostly American. So I don't know if they were trying to make Karloff look more Greek.
And interesting thing in Boris Karloff's case, his great aunt was Anna Leowens. If you're familiar with the musical The King and I, that's the woman the film, the musical follows. Anna Leowens, real person, and Boris Karloff, his father was Anglo-Indian, just like his mother. No, wait, hold on. For goodness. Oh, wait. Their father, Edward John Pratt, was an Anglo-Indian with a British father and an Indian mother, and Karloff was more than a quarter Indian, as his mother also had some Indian ancestry. His mother's maternal aunt was Anna Leowens.
I can see a bit of that now that you're after saying it.
Yeah, Boris Karloff was people might dismissively say it's just a bunch of white guys, but no, two Anglo-Indian parents.
That's when you picture Boris Karloff in your head right now, that makes actually a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense, because he never really looked like a typical English actor back then, and I'm not even sure what that is meant to look like, but he just didn't look like a lot of the other actors at the time. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think he must have the most recognizable face from the black and white times. I'm struggling to think of somebody that has that kind of look of him.
You might say he was sort of the Ben Kingsley of his day. Ben Kingsley also being Anglo-Indian.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So
I mean, sure, their careers aren't exactly similar, but how many? It's very specific, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a bit strange.
And well, technically, Boris Karloff, he never officially changed his name. Boris Karloff is a stage name, but still, Boris, Ben, and they're both Anglo-Indian, so there you go.
I wonder what Karloff got up to after he finished these movies, because I think he only done the 3 movies with RKO, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know if he, because obviously like Lon Chaney Jr. kind of kept going well into the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I'm not sure when he stopped, but I don't know what Karloff really done after these movies.
He makes some kind of trash, honestly, towards the end. But his shining moment towards the end is Targets, which I highly recommend.
I also highly recommend Mad
Yeah,
Monster Party, which is, of course,
yeah, sure.
on the Google Doc because it's his goodbye to Frankenstein. And it's an animated stop motion film by Rankin Bass.
That's sick. What was that? More than in the 50s or 60s, was it?
Yeah, it was in the 60s,
Yeah.
and he voices Baron von Frankenstein, the creator of the monster. So, yeah, it's a nice goodbye. And of course, Boris Karloff ended up lending his likeness to a comic book series in the 60s. Damn it, what was the name? Let's see, Tales of Mystery. There we go. Tales of Mystery. Dark Horse, you gotta bring back those hardcover collections. They need to be brought back into print.
Has Boris Karloff ever played like a zombie? I know. Obviously, maybe it's called the Frankenstein's monster, a bit of a zombie, but he has that kind of like the sunken in cheeks. I wonder, did he ever play like a zombie? Because that's what I was kind of more expecting this movie to be, a zombie movie. And I was assuming, oh my god, like maybe Boris Karloff is either like an evil scientist or he is one of the zombies. So I wonder if
Hold
did ever play
on.
a zombie.
100. I think there's a zombie. Excuse me. 100. Let's see. I looked up the 100 years of 100 years of horror. The zombies episode. The zombies episode on IMDb. Let's see, because I remember there being. No, not Return of the Living Dead. Hold on.
I got it up here, Brian. Apparently he played
Isle of the Snake People. There we go. Isle of the Snake
People.
People in 1971, which would have been released, one of his posthumous roles. So he might not have played a zombie, but he was in a zombie movie.
I also seen
a Mexican horror film.
It's saying here he also, I don't know if he played a zombie in it, but the Walking Dead from 1936 and Voodoo Island 1957.
Yeah, so and in Isle of the Snake People, he apparently plays an evil priest. Evil voodoo priest. So
yeah, there was one. I'm not sure if anyone here has seen I'm sure Zontarr has now. The Roger Corman, The Raven with Boris Karloff.
I've not seen it, but I'm aware of those films he did with Corman.
Yeah, it's a good film. It's nothing like these movies that we've been talking about. It's a lot. I would call it a lot sillier. But Karloff in that movie kind of just looked like he was fed up with.
Yeah.
You've seen his Zontarr, I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah.
Good film. But he looked defeated in that fucking movie.
No.
You seen that one, bro? Oh no, you said you didn't say it. I would actually recommend some of them movies. They are good. The Pit and the Pendulum. These were the Roger Corman movies based on, what was the guy's name?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I have a collection of Edgar Allan Poe short stories, and some of his stories were, of course, adapted into Marvel Classic Comics, the hardcover omnibus of which I do, of course, have. And if you're curious, here's the cover for the omnibus that I've got, and it is, of course, the Iliad on the cover.
That's fucking sweet looking.
Yeah, those were done back in the 70s.
Man, the comics were killer back then.
Yeah, 50 pages, no ads. If only that was something YouTube would do. No ads.
Well, unless you want to pay $20 a month or whatever it is, Brian.
Hmm.
Yep.
I thought about that because I thought it was going to be worth it, but $20 is fuck that shit, man. I'd rather not watch YouTube than
Yep.
pay that fucking money. Now, before we get into giving our like final ratings on this movie, I know I'm probably annoying people, especially in the Discord, but has anyone seen or plan on going to see Disclosure Day, the new Spielberg?
I don't know.
Possibly.
I've seen Masters of the Universe. That's the most recent film I've seen, but not sure if I am interested in Disclosure Day.
I'm reading reviews online, man, saying Spielberg's lost his touch. I think that could be the contender, the best movie of the year, hands down. Now, I was interested in seeing Masters of the Universe, but I might wait until that goes on streaming. But I honestly, Brian, if you need something to watch in the cinema, definitely go see Disclosure Day. I think it was excellent. Emily Blunt is probably the best I've ever seen. That's probably the best you'll ever fucking get. It's really good. I recommend it. If nobody here has seen it or listeners watch it, I really recommend that. Because I asked a few times in the main chat and one or two people have answered. I thought like that's not a big movie. I thought people are going to lose their shit over this movie, like the amount of hype I had. But it's worth the price of admission. But let's talk about our ratings for Oil of the Dead. What a fucking great movie. You go first, boy.
Might give it a 4 because I really like I Watch for the Zombie. I really like The Body Snatcher. It might take me a few. I mean, this is a good movie, but it also might take me a few more viewings to fully, understand everything.
Yeah, I agree with that because I Walk to the Zombie is a 5 out of 5 for me. I would probably give The Body Snatchers almost a 5, more 4.5, and then this one, kind of same as you, Brian, a 4, like, because it's just a little bit more of a slow burn compared to the other two movies, but it's not really a slow burn, if you know what I mean. It's just comparing it to the other two movies. It's so worth it. That, like, the last 15 minutes, as we've been talking about, is so worth the little journey that it brings you on.
Yeah, it's also a bit. The film's also a bit out of left field compared to the previous two.
Yeah.
I mean, both based off of literature, so here we come with something inspired by a painting.
Yeah. And for what they could get out of a single painting, I think they've done a fantastic job here.
Mm-hmm.
Titan, what would you give this out of 5, man?
I'd probably say 4.5. I really liked the whole premise of it. It did, like you said, it brought me back to the COVID era. It kind of hit that personal nerve with me. And then, as you've been saying this whole time, the last 15 minutes, it just catches you off guard. So I got to give it a pretty high rating.
Respect, man. Yeah, can't talk about enough about them last 15 minutes. Zontarr, what about you, man?
4.
Yeah, just a flat 4.
Yeah.
Solid. Yeah.
Yeah. I was getting really hyped about it, and now I'm kind of kicking it around a little bit. It's like, the woman who says he gets coma-like trances, she's afraid of being buried alive. They then bury her alive.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe we should bury her right away.
But yeah, so
the movie can happen.
So that's our discussion for Oil of the Dead. Really enjoyed it. Like, this is one that, again, I've known about this movie. I've known about I Walked the Zombie. I've known about the Val Lewton movies. It's nice to finally get into them and talk about them with you guys. But next week we're going 180. I don't know. Like the last couple of weeks, I've just been getting into the Toho Godzilla movies, the old Japanese ones, and they're very fucking hard to find in physical form where I am. Almost near impossible, and they keep putting up the price of that Criterion box set. I'm gonna pull the trigger at some stage, but it's upwards to like €200 now in my country. It's crazy, but I could. It's either I get that, or the only other route I can do is, I'm sure some of you guys here maybe have them. Maybe Titan has a few of them, like the Blu-ray double features, and they'd have like 2 Toho Godzilla movies on them. To get
Yeah, I have a couple.
Like to get them bought and delivered to me, costing like $40-50. It's crazy. Like, so, I don't know if we post it into the Discord, but there actually is an upload on archive.org of the Criterion box set. But as like obviously Titan knows, there's a lot of them that are just in the Japanese. I think there's only 5 dubs in that box set. But when you're watching them on archive.org, there's no subtitles. So unless you're perfect and fluent in Japanese, there's only a few of them on that site that you can actually watch, which I only figured out there the other night. So next week, so next week we're gonna review Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and then maybe do the follow up to that one, Terra Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, and just like to do a few shout outs. Well, not exactly shout outs, but maybe I'm not paid for less, but promotion, shout out, however you want to do it, however you want to explain it. But first one, the new Universal Monsters comic book miniseries has begun. Blood of the Wolfman, following a college student who, I've not read it, but I'm presuming he's going to be a descendant of Larry Talbot. Also, so definitely check the comics out, because Image has been doing so much. We've had Dracula, we've had Frankenstein, we've had The Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, we've had
Phantom.
The Mummy, we've had The Invisible Man, and recently they finished up with The Phantom of the Opera, the hardcover of which is coming out in September. But also today I got the Atlantis Saber-Tooth Tiger model, which is a reissue of the Aurora model from 1971, and they also do. They're also reissuing the Universal Monster model. So the Wolfman, the Mummy.
You actually sent them into the main chat, didn't you, Brian?
Yeah, I did the Saber-Tooth Tiger. I got the Saber-Tooth Tiger one, the Smarnodon. So, yeah, if you're a fan of those vintage models, or if you're a fan of Universal Monsters, check out these comics, check out these models, or even if you're just a fan of retro models in general, check them out.
Them Universal comics, they've been knocking them out of the park. Absolutely phenomenal stuff.
Have you read any yet?
No, I have the Frankenstein one. I've yet to read it. I think it could be in the next room, but I do have the Frankenstein one, and I'm looking to get the Phantom one as well.
Maybe when we get around to doing Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
For Boris Karloff's birthday month.
Yeah, let's touch on that then, bro, because like we were talking there like yesterday.
Yeah, November.
Yeah.
November is Boris Karloff's birthday month.
Like maybe for the show we can do like themed months. So on average we kind of basically bang out maybe 2 to 3 a month. Going all well, maybe 4 months, like once a week. But like we were thinking maybe like do like themed months, like so. The Frankenstein month is in August, November, is it?
Oh yeah, no wait, August. Yeah,
August, yeah.
The Frankenstein month is August because that's when Frankenstein Day is. But we've also got Boris Karloff's birthday in November. So whatever we we don't get in August, but we can always do in November.
Yeah. So that's well, we're gonna look into doing like teen months and have maybe a bit more of a focus or a direction for the show, which would be good because like it. If, in fairness, I would another side to me that just wants to finish these all Val Lewton movies. But I think though next week we'll do a Toho Godzilla movie, and yeah, because me, Bryan, and Titan done a great review of King Kong versus Godzilla, the Toho, and Toho got their hands on the video and butchered the whole fucking video, and it's like partially blocked in like tons of countries. But it's such a good episode, so that was like more fault down to putting like tons of clips of the movie in there. But since we're doing a video podcast now, it should be a lot easier to review them movies.
It's totally not, because I said it's my least favorite King Kong film. I mean, but of course, with it being with it being made with a stolen idea, it's probably up there with villainizing Marion C. Cooper's Avatar Caron Denim. So so along with it's in good company. It has the Peter Jackson film, it has the 1976 film, so yeah.
It's in good company. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say, Randy, if you are looking for Godzilla movies like dubbed, I just thought about it. There's this one, I don't know if you can find it. It's by Classic Media. It's called the Godzilla Collection. It has 7 movies, all dubbed into English from the Showa era, including Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Oh, sweet, man! I need to go check that out. Do you own this one yourself?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to look into it, man, because don't know. I don't know if it was just my Amazon, or maybe I just need to be looking at other places. But there's nothing to get except for the Criterion box set. So I'm definitely going to scope that out, man, because I grew up with them movies. So it's going to be interesting because I watched the '74 movie the other night, and I think the last time I watched that was maybe like close to 15 years ago. So it'd be nice. It'd be nice to do the 2 movies. That was actually Titan's suggestion to do Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and then Terror of Mechagodzilla, the Showa Mechagodzilla movie. So it'd be good to watch, because there's about 90 of them Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
Well, probably not as much, but there might as well be.
Yeah.
I mean, it would probably take less time for me to do watch-along videos of Godzilla the series, like the 90, the animated series that came.
The 98 one.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, and that was a great series. I remember watching that.
Yeah, I even have the phone series on DVD.
It was,
and bizarrely enough, I got that DVD at Mycon's, which is an arts and craft and art store, just where you can buy art supplies and things.
Yeah, so sometimes you find absolute bangers in little places like that, man. Like you find like little hidden gems that like shouldn't be sold there. Really, I've came across some of my collections in like weird like libraries and little arts and craft shops like that as well. It's bizarre, but I am looking forward to next week though, because the Godzilla talk does be fun, and who knows, there might be a couple of hot takes there. So for the listeners, like, make sure you go and check that out next week. But I think that's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching our review and listening to our review of Oil of the Dead. Bryan, do you want to tell the audience where we can find your stuff?
Yes, you can find me on YouTube. If you're wondering about why I appear as I am, I'm a VTuber. I do games. I recently started recording on the Minecraft server Vox Populi again, which I of course frequent. I have been frequenting for 11 years now. I do readings. I'm currently reading The Travels of Marco Polo. I'm reacting to Are You Afraid of the Dark Universe? A podcast itself. So not sure if we're ever going to be. We're probably never going to be covering that on this show because that would be like podcastception or something.
Yeah.
And of course, I am streaming tomorrow, playing the Game Boy Advance version of The Hobbit, which I will be finishing tomorrow.
Oh, you're almost finished it, Bryan?
Yeah, 9:30 a.m. EST. That's when the stream starts.
Okay.
So guys, make sure you're going over and checking out Bryan. Bryan has just been fucking out there grinding. You can find Zontarr and Titan in the Classic Horror Fans Discord. I'm going to leave a link in the description if people want to check that out. It's 18 plus. Don't even bother if you're underage. And if you're a scammer, don't even bother either because we had a few of them. Titan has been here. I remember Titan when there was only about 4 members, I think, in 4 or 5 members in the fucking Classic Horror Fans Discord. Titan has been there from the get-go. But yeah. So I just want to say thanks for listening. If you're still watching, make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, all that YouTuber shit. If you're over on Spotify, follow us, leave a rating if you want to hear more. Really helps the wheel keep turning over here. We really appreciate that. I want to say thanks to Bryan, Zontarr, and Titan for coming on. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Hey, thanks.
I am Dracula.